One psalm a day. Psalm 13 KJV. How long wilt thou forget me, O Lord? Forever. How long wilt thou hide thy face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long shall mine enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest mine enemy say, I have prevailed against him. And those that trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in thy mercy, my heart shall rejoice in thy salvation. I will sing unto the Lord, because he hath dealt bountifully with me. This short psalm carries the weight of deep emotional struggle. David opens with a heartfelt lament, repeating the phrase how long, 4 times. These questions expose a soul in anguish, feeling forgotten and overwhelmed by suffering. They speak for all who have known seasons where prayers seem unanswered, where heaven feels silent, and pain lingers too long. The repetition mirrors our own cycles of fear and doubt. It's not just poetic, it's real. In times of despair, our minds often loop, obsessing over the same questions, replaying worries, and waiting desperately for change. David's questions echo ours, showing that even the faithful wrestle with God's timing and presence. Verse 2 brings the inner battle to light. I take counsel in my soul suggests that David is turning inward, perhaps overthinking, carrying his burdens alone. It's a moment of mental exhaustion when our own thoughts become the battlefield, and sorrow seems to win each day. Many of us can relate. The war within is sometimes louder than the world around us. The plea in verse 3 is strikingly intimate. Lighten my eyes, in Hebrew thought, dim eyes symbolize despair or even death. David is begging not just for physical rescue, but for a renewal of hope, a spark of life to keep going. This simple phrase invites us to ask God not only to fix our situations, but to restore our vision, to help us see again with faith. The fear of being shamed in verse 4 reveals a deeper vulnerability. David doesn't just fear death, he fears being defeated, being mocked, being seen as forsaken. This verse is a reminder of how human we are. We don't want our suffering to be meaningless. We don't want our enemies, or our inner doubts, to win. But then comes the turn. Verse 5, this is where faith interrupts fear. But I have trusted in thy mercy. This moment is crucial, it's a choice. David doesn't wait for everything to be fixed before trusting. He declares trust in the middle of pain, and not trust in power or answers, but in mercy, in the loving kindness of God. His heart, though heavy, starts to rejoice. He remembers salvation, and from memory, he draws strength. When we remember what God has already done, we shift from fear to faith. Gratitude becomes the rope that pulls us out of despair. This is not denial, it's defiance against hopelessness. Finally, in verse 6, David sings, the situation may not have changed, but he has. Singing here is an act of spiritual courage. It's the voice of someone who has tasted bitterness, but still believes in goodness. He has dealt bountifully with me, a phrase that reframes suffering through the lens of divine grace. Psalm 13 teaches us that it's okay to cry out. It's okay to question, it's okay to feel forgotten. But it also shows us a way through: honest lament, desperate prayer, deliberate trust, grateful remembrance, and courageous praise. These are the steps of a soul walking through darkness toward light. In the end, David doesn't just survive the sorrow, he transforms it. His pain becomes a prayer, his prayer becomes praise. This is the secret of faith. Not avoiding the valley, but finding God within it. Let Psalm 13 remind you today that even in the silence, you are seen. Even in the delay, you are loved, and even in your weakness, God is near.